Check your stream is connected. Okay. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts. My name is Megan Mitchell, and I'm here today representing Livable City, that awesome organization that brings you citywide open streets events such as Sunday Streets and Play Streets. Before I get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Sonic. And for those of you joining us, feel free to enter your questions in the comments. Joining me today is Vas Kiniris. Vas is the executive director of the Fillmore Merchants Association, but has significantly impacted the retail industry by supporting merchants citywide. Whether it's the Bayview District, Outer Sunset, Chinatown, or the Marina, Vas has been there. Entrepreneurship runs in his family as he spent most of his youth at his father's store in the Mission District. There, he learned how to run small businesses, customer service skills, and most important, building community. After graduating from UC Berkeley with an architecture degree, Vas co-founded a design furniture store, Zinc Details, with a $2,000 investment in the Tenderloin. After 27 years, he moved on happily to focus on advocating for small businesses and promoting the neighborhood merchant corridor's economic vitality. So let's get right into it. We're talking business with Vas Kiniris. Hi, Vas.
Hello, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you for the invite. Thank you, Livable Cities. Thank you, Sonic. I just want to give a big shout out to you as well. We've known each other for many, many years, worked together in different capacities. And I'm always in awe, Megan, of your engagement, your enthusiasm, your positivity. And so right back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I try. It's nice to see you, and it's nice to be seen.
Yes.
All right, so let's start first with the Fillmore District Merchants. Tell me a little bit about what you're working on currently along the corridor.
So some people don't know, but there are about 33 merchant associations all around the city. These are coalitions of merchants that have come together to represent, on their behalf. And, basic issues like safety, security, maintenance issues, there's marketing issues. These are the three main things that businesses and merchant corridors need to thrive. So Fillmore Merchants, we are the oldest merchant association in the city. We were founded after the 1906 earthquake because the fire that ravaged the east side of the city, Van Ness was basically a firewall. So the fire didn't jump over. That's why there's all these intact Victorians on that side of Van Ness. And literally like immigrants, migrants, all converged on Fillmore Street because it was the main commercial corridor of the city. So right now we've got about 300 members on our Facebook page, super engaged, really proud of our community. They're very creative, very innovative, very collaborative group of merchants. It's fallen on hard times, but just like the city, the city's mascot, I guess, is the Phoenix, and we're gonna get through this.
We're gonna rise like the Phoenix, absolutely. So I know that, you mentioned falling on hard times. We've probably lost a few businesses, or we have some businesses that are probably looking at different things that they could do to survive. I want to kind of talk about like what the restaurant industry is looking like over there, because I feel like the restaurants kind of have a leg up, considering we could do a lot of these outdoor dining situations with the city's shared spaces program. What are some things you've noticed in the community?
So, first of all, I just want to talk about a little bit about pre-COVID, BC. So, merchants are famous for complaining because small business has always been difficult. BC, there was bureaucratic red tape, heavy taxes, high rents, housing affordability, labor shortages, street maintenance issues. Now all that stuff has been compounded. Whole new set of challenges. On Fillmore alone during the crisis, there were 40 boarded up storefronts. 90% of our businesses were shut down, and slowly that's coming back. And during the Chamber of Commerce did a survey, and they reported that 47% of businesses during COVID lost 100% of their revenues during COVID. Slowly it's coming back, but a lot of people are like, well, why should we care about small business? Small business is big business, right? Because there's 90,000 businesses in the city. Half of them are considered small business. That means they employ literally 10 or less employees. However, they employ 350,000 people in the city. That's huge. That's over a third of the population of the city is somehow connected to small business. And then small business has other connections to the larger business community as well. So these are huge financial, cultural ripple effects that we're going through right now. So the state of business does not look good, because there was another survey that was made out by Yelp. 3,000 businesses have closed permanently in the area. That's huge.
Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah. So, that's like the present state, like what's happening. Businesses on Fillmore and across the city, we've gone through a spectrum of emotions, right? Initially, it was disbelief, then anger. And I feel now that there's like a resolution, and these merchants are just like we as individuals. We're all being forced to create new efficiencies, new ways of working and connecting with each other. And we're quickly realizing that this thing will be with us for a long, long time, maybe even into 2021 in some capacity. So, that's the small business owners. We need to be adaptable, right? We're scrappy, we're innovative. But what's exciting now is there's a new sense of collaboration that I see that's really inspiring amongst merchants, amongst City Hall, and amongst the private world as well.
That's great. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, before there was a sense of merchants were in competition with one another, and now there's a realization that we need to be in co-opetition with one another. Yeah. And what's the term? All boats rise. Right? And in business, the greatest threat to business is uncertainty. Yeah. These are extremely uncertain times. So the more we get to share best practices with one another, learn from one another, I think it can only better our situation. Because I'm sure just like as individuals, we are all in startup mode. Mm-hmm. And this city has proven itself over and over again that we're really great in this startup model. So we need to demonstrate that our businesses are safe and clean and they're fun to be in again.
Definitely.
So not only as businesses, but our merchant corridors and our overall city, because there's a perception, and this is a lot of it is in our head. There's a perception that the city and businesses fall short of that. A lot of people are scared to come into the city again. So that's why it's important for us to demonstrate that, yes, you can be outside dining, and it's safe, and everyone is practicing, distancing, and there's safety protocols in place.
Absolutely. So one of the things I was curious about, because I know, you were in the Fillmore for a really long time. And one thing I've always appreciated about you, as you had your store that was literally on the borderline of Pack Heights and Lower Fillmore, is you actually had that connection between both sets of merchants. Now, everybody who knows San Francisco, who travels to the Fillmore district, knows that when you go south of Gary, there's more businesses that are owned by people of color. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about south of Gary all the way to Eddy Street. And when you go north of Gary, there's businesses that, are a little more mainstream, things like Marc Jacobs, right. Ralph Lauren, which I know some of those businesses aren't there anymore, but just to give you kind of an idea of what the experience was like, it's like night and day. So we had on Lower Fillmore were a lot of restaurants, a couple of boutiques, hair salons, etc. As we look ahead and we're looking at, post-pandemic, all of these businesses potentially opening, or even a new generation of, these POC businesses opening and these mainstream businesses opening. How do you think we could bridge that gap and have everybody work together so that it's a thriving commercial corridor,
Right.
from the top of California all the way down to Golden Gate?
Well, I've always believed that, I believed in, bringing the community together because, what we depend on each other for everything. And Fillmore Street has always been an extremely diverse merchant corridor historically, and it touches to what I was saying before. It has such a long, rich history, with it was the Harlem of the West back in the day. It was the birthplace of Summer of Love. Janis Joplin played at the Fillmore Auditorium. So there's always been an extreme diversity of merchants and people, residents. And the other thing that we have to realize is these borders that are in our heads are totally arbitrary. And thank God these borders are, they're being slowly erased. And we need to erase some of these borders that are in our minds. And we've really believed in three things bring people together: music, art, and food. And these are the activities, Megan, that we've always done on Fillmore Street to connect the street and bridge this divide. And, with our Fillmore Jazz Festival, which this year we would have celebrated our 35th anniversary. And this was the first year in its history that we had to cancel it.
Yeah.
But, in the past, we've done art walks, we've done concierge walks, we've done Airbnb superhost walks, and we've purposely always included the diversity of merchants that exist on the street. So to answer your question, this is how we bridge communities together. And the more we know each other, the more we're talking to each other, the less chances are that we're going to objectify one another. And, we're going to be sympathetic and really work with one another and listen to one another.
Thank you for that. I'd like to pivot away from the Fillmore district and talk a little bit about some of the other neighborhoods that you've worked in. And really, honestly, you pick. I mean, you've been all over the city. Tell me, what has been your focus lately? Which corridor?
Well, again, businesses and merchant corridors need three things to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Maintenance, not only how to get to a corridor vis-a-vis, different modes of mobility, but also getting permits, stuff like that. That's part of maintenance. Then security. Security is of utmost importance. If you don't have security, if people don't have employees and customers don't feel safe in these corridors, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
And then finally is marketing. That's the fun stuff. That's the stuff that we all want to do.
Right.
But if those two things are not taken care of, the first two things, then marketing is not as effective. So that being said, I have worked with merchant corridors all around the city. It's been a blessing. And so I look at these corridors and I see, I check these boxes off in my head. Okay, some corridors are, they're relatively safe. Their maintenance is pretty good. We just need to pump up more marketing, right? Then other corridors, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Safety and, maintenance, those are the most things, right? So you got to have clean and safe streets.
Definitely.
That's like the number one thing. So, so that being said, I love merchants. That's my community. I speak their language. I can totally empathize with them. And I love to highlight merchants because right now what merchants need most is cash and customers.
Yeah, totally.
So we need to make sure to support them so they can get those two things.
Wonderful. So what's the latest corridor you've been working on? I heard about Soma. What are some other ones you're doing some work on currently?
Yeah, so now basically I've always been a small business advocate and now I'm independent. We basically have like a public affairs firm, which is just beginning. So we're bringing in different clients. So I just finished a really nice project with Soma West CBD. That's the newest community benefits district in San Francisco. It was established in 2019, right before COVID. A lot of people don't know what Soma West is, right? So we brought together all these community stakeholders, the president of the Leather and LGBTQ Cultural District, and another stakeholder from the Filipinos Cultural District. And we brought in South of Market Business Association president as well. And Christian Martin was there. And we just talked about the cultural and economic assets of this community. And also Adam Thongsavat from Airbnb was our co-moderator. So it was great. It was really positive, and we really showed what's happening in Soma. Other communities that I'm focusing on is Chinatown, because they had a rough go of it early on. It's still experiencing a lot of problems. Japantown, Bayview, West Side, Fillmore, of course, is very near and dear to my heart. And, again, I feel like the neighborhoods are faring a little bit better, but the neighborhoods that have been dependent on commuters and tourists, like Fisherman's Wharf, Chinatown, they're having a really hard time. That being said, North Beach is on fire. It's looking really good. It's one of the neighborhoods that's really turning around nicely. And a lot of it is on their shared space program. Shared spaces, for some of you that don't know, it's the city is allowing merchants to take over parking spots in front of their businesses, or you can some merchant corridors are closing off streets to allow outdoor dining. And the ones that are doing this are seeing the benefits. And for once, I'm hearing merchants talking positively about the current situation, because it's really helping them. So right now, Chinatown has closed off 2 streets on Grant Ave. North Beach doesn't have any closed streets, but they do have a lot of parklets all around, and they're continuous parklets. So it looks like continuous outdoor dining. It's really European. It's really engaging. Also Valencia. And also Irving is now got their permits to close as well, part of Irving in Outer Sunset. And of course, Castro has some closed streets now too. So that's exciting.
Well, that's
I think
great.
that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, we'll be looking at Soma Folsom Street closure this week.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of festivals coming up. I was going to say to the Valley of
No, not festivals. We don't want festivals.
No, not festivals. Not festivals. They're different.
Yeah.
No, but Meg, I was going to say, with the shared spaces, yes, it's helping the merchants a lot. But the other cool thing is it's demonstrating that the cities and the merchant corridors are safe and fun to be in again, because the recovery is going to be very spotty. It's really going to be focused around restaurants and bars, because that's what brings people out. That's restaurant or bar will you will be enticed to drive all the way to the Mission or the Excelsior, or to try out that great taqueria, right?
Yeah.
And then other forms of shopping will occur because you were there.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So that's what I see on Fillmore Street. Like, there's pockets of activity around these parklets and restaurants. And then other retailers are more apt to open because they see there's foot traffic there.
Awesome. Okay, well, we had a really great conversation about all of this.
What? It's over?
It's over. I mean, we're 22 minutes in. Kamala's speaking right now.
Okay. No, we can't. But there's there's a lot of positivity coming out of this, and I think there's going to be some positive legacies from this COVID nightmare. But hopefully some relaxed outdoor drinking laws. We can enjoy our cocktails on the street going forward, post-COVID, and also some of the shared spaces. We'll be able to enjoy that as well, post-COVID as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Buzz.
you for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh, and we'll talk again. I continue to be amazed at you just touching all the different corners of San Francisco. You know, I'm watching you. I'm there to support all the different merchants. You go to Chinatown, North Beach, Soma, Bayview, Fillmore, you name it. We're doing these shared spaces programs everywhere. We've got merchant advocates out there like Vas with his marketing and his funny Instagram videos. You know,
Hey,
this
it's all about the stories.
It's all about the stories, and this is the energy we need right now in these tough pandemic times. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank the staff at Livable City. I want to thank our sponsor, Sonic. And tune in tomorrow for going live Friday for our Friday live show, and we'll be giving out $25 gift cards. And we'll give you tips on the best small businesses in the Excelsior.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. Kisses, kisses.
Mwah.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good day.
You too.
Go out and dine. See you
I'm
later.
going to go out and dine today. All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.